Hey guys, welcome back to Vlogmas. Today is the 27th, so today's day 27 of Vlogmas. Oh, jeez. It's been a bit of a weird start to the morning. Perry and Layla went out for breakfast with his parents this morning, and I stayed at home. I kind of overslept a bit this morning and just was feeling a bit weird. So I chose to stay at home. She's now all packed up and off to Granny and Grandpa's for the day and night, and we will see her tomorrow. So today, Perry and I are getting some time off, essentially, and a bit of downtime after all the craziness. What are we doing today? So Perry's going to be working on the Mini a little bit today, this morning, and I'm going to be doing some stuff as well. I've got quite a few things on my to-do list for the day. Some of it will be interesting for you guys to see, some probably not so interesting. I am taking a slightly new approach to my stash this next year. And I have really been quite ruthless in decluttering my stash and taking out a lot of stuff. I've realised I haven't knit as many socks this year as I have in the past because of spinning. So I've been spending a lot of the time I would have spent knitting vanilla socks spinning. And also because a lot of the people that I knit socks for, myself included, already have a lot of socks and probably don't need as many socks anymore going forward. I mean, I'll still be knitting socks for people and gifting them, but they just don't need the sheer volume that I was doing before. Mommy, yes? Mommy. What's wrong?
Mommy, I've been told that you can go to the house.
Okay.
You go with Randy,
And as I was saying, I'm trying to really pare down my stash to the things that I think I will use, or the things that I have ideas for. Most of my knitting these days, like 90% of my knitting, is design work. So I have my designing stash, which obviously is what it is, but my personal stash doesn't need to be as big as it is, so I've really pared it down. I've got a big old bag, that big bag that's full of yarn, and I've just sat down and made a list. I'm going to do them like grab bags, so most of them will be like mystery grab bags, but some I will post photos for, like more specific things. So anyway, I've come up with a bunch of different grab bag options for the yarns. They will be heavily discounted from what they were full price, and I'm going to be listing them on my Instagram in my stories. And so you can find me on Instagram as Knitting Expat, all one word. And there's a link to that, or it should be down below this video as well anyway. I'm not entirely sure when I will be listing them, probably towards the next weekend, because we've got stuff going on this weekend. I'm not going to have time to deal with it, but probably towards next weekend I will be listing those yarns for sale, and it will be based, I'll be dealing with it through Instagram. Once you've confirmed, it will be the listing price plus postage and packaging on top of that. So once you tell me you want it, I will need you to tell me where you are, so then I can calculate the postage and let you know the total cost. And then if you're okay with that, I will send you an invoice via PayPal, and you can pay that, and then it will be sent out to you. So it'll be a fairly simple process. I've done this before with destashes, so that's kind of the approach I'm taking with it this time. I have plans for other type of destashes going forward. I have so many scraps and so many leftovers of yarns and stuff. I'm thinking of putting together little scrappy sock sets. So I'm not sure if you guys are interested in that. Like maybe 10 to 12 minis, around 5 to 10 grams, in like a grab bag again, of like, so you can use them together to make scrappy socks or for other sort of mini skein projects. And those would be relatively inexpensive as well. But let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. That'd be quite fun to put together. I wanted to quickly show you guys the fibery related goodies that I got for Christmas this year. So first up, in my stocking, from Perry, we do stockings for each other. One of the things that he gave me was this little thing, which may or may not look like anything to you. If you're a spinner, you may recognize what this is, but this is actually a 3D printed Andean plying tool. So with Andean plying, it's a way of wrapping yarn around your hand and wrist, essentially, to be able to do a center pull, essentially 2-ply, without having to use a cake or a ball that might get tangled. And it's a really effective way of doing a 2-ply without, like I said, without your singles getting tangled up. Now this does the same thing but without having to use your hands. So the reason I wanted one of these is for potentially doing 2 plies with larger quantities of singles. Typically I only do an Andean plying bracelet if I'm doing it for a smaller quantity of yarn, like weight wise. I don't want to do it for like 100 grams or anything. So with this you can wrap the singles around this tool in an Andean plying motion or technique, there we go, and it frees up your hand. So usually when I do an Andean plying bracelet, I'm kind of tied to my spinning wheel until I finish plying it, which is why I only do it for smaller quantities. But with this, I should in theory be able to do larger quantities without it getting tangled up, and being able to put down the singles and then being able to pick it back up again. So I still need to give this a go. I do have some singles that I spun last night on my wheel right now, which I'm going to practice with that. Did that even make sense? I'm going to use those singles to practice doing that, with doing the Andean plying with this tool. So we'll see how that goes and I will report back on that. And it does come apart, like this bit at the top comes out. I can't do that one-handed, but it does come out. And then as part of the advent swaps that I did with my friends, so I did a mini skein swap with Meg of Bad Wolf Girl Studios, and she gave me a beautiful skein of her yarn as a Christmas Day present, day 25. So this is her Stranger Things colorway. It's a 75-25, so 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% stellina, and it is super sparkly. You can really see that on camera. Stellina doesn't usually show up on camera very well, but this one really picks it up. And then I did an advent swap with Sam from Lavender Loon Yarn Company, and for my Christmas Day package she gave me some fibre. So first up was this 4 ounce, I was going to say braid, but it's not actually braided, it's just top, from Three Waters Farm in the Overcast colourway, and it's an 80% merino, 20% tencel, and it's 4 ounces. So you can sort of see that it's quite moody colours in there, which is really quite fun, and I love spinning merino tencel. And then she also included a 2 ounce bag of hobbledehoy battlings, which I think are super fun. It's like rainbows and clouds, which I think is really cool. I think this might be a really fun one to do on my either a drop spindle or the Turkish spindle. I think it'd be quite fun because it's not too much in terms of quantity of yarn. Oh geez. And then Layla got me a really sweet present. She got me 2 bags of these Spin Jones rainbow tops. So there's 140 grams in each bag, so that's a decent quantity of fibre right there. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to spin these as minis. So I'm going to spin half from one bobbin, half onto one, half onto the other, and then 2 ply them together. So we'll see how this goes. And Harry got me a Hide and Hammer number 3 bag for Christmas. This is her Midnight Blue color canvas bag, and it's a really beautiful big canvas project bag, and I really like this sort of dark navy blue color. I don't really have a bag in this sort of color, so yeah, so that was really nice. And this one's got a buckle closure on it. And then, so if you remember during Vlogmas, I was knitting that sweater for a friend's daughter. The friend whose daughter I was knitting it for was New, who is actually the owner and creator behind the Hide and Hammer project bags. And so the trade that I did with her for that sweater was another one of her number 3 project bags. So she sent me this one, the red one with the black straps, and this one's got the stud closure on it instead of the buckle. And this was her special like sort of Christmas colorway, and I was like, this red is absolutely beautiful. And thankfully Layla was suitably distracted when I opened this and she didn't notice it, so she hasn't actually seen this yet, which means I have a chance of actually keeping it for myself before she steals it. But yeah, so I absolutely love these 2 bags. I've been wanting to get one of these bags for a while now and just never got round to it, and now I have 2. So I'm feeling very spoilt this Christmas. And the only other thing that I had to open on Christmas Day was my Inglenook Fibres 12 Days of Christmas calendar of fibre. It's supposed to be open like 1 each day from Christmas onwards, but I decided to open them all on Christmas Day because that was my Christmas present to myself. So I'm not going to actually show that on camera because I don't want to ruin the surprise for anybody, but I will be posting a photo of it all after the 12 days are over. Like, so on the 6th of January I'll probably post a photo of it on Instagram, just because I don't want to spoil the surprise for anyone who is doing it properly. Okay, time to tidy up and organize my yarn cabinets a little bit. I've actually now condensed all of my personal yarn stash onto that top shelf in my yarn cabinet. So it's all loaded up onto this tool thingy, and now we're going to attempt to take it off and see how we do with actually flying from this. So you just take this bit out, boop, and then it kind of just pops off here. I'm wondering if you can leave it on the tool or if you have to take it off. I feel like you might be able to leave it on there, so I'm going to leave it on there for now and see how that goes. All right. Well, that's now done. I finished plying those singles into a 2-ply using this Andean ply tool, which I actually found to be really helpful. I really enjoyed it. It worked really well, and I was able to ply directly from the tool as well, although you can transfer the Andean ply bracelet to your hand and like do it from your hand. I wanted to see if it would work on the tool, because then if I need to stop plying halfway through, I can leave the singles on the tool and set it down and it won't get into a tangled mess, which is really the reason why I wanted it. So I can use it for larger quantities of fibre. Sometimes, you know, I'm spinning something, maybe I forgot to split the fibre before I started or whatever to do a 2-ply, or I just want to spin and not really think about it and just do a 2-ply at the end. This will be really handy for that. And so yeah, I'm really quite chuffed with this. This one is by Turtle Made, but I believe Perry got this from Cat and Sparrow in the UK. They sell the Turtle Made Turkish spindles and these Andean plying tools. So if you're looking for one, you can look there. And I'm pretty sure that's where he got it from, because that's the link I sent him. Anyway. So it's been a couple of hours. And yeah, so I've tidied up my cabinets a little bit. I've put all my fibre in one, essentially, and then all of my yarn, my hand spun and my designing yarn is in another cabinet, and then the bottom of that other cabinet is all the fibre that I have set aside for like blending up, making rolags, making mini bats and all that sort of stuff. I've just been working on making up some mini bats, so I've got about half of the mini bats done now for the kits, because I think there's going to be 24 kits this time. So I've got 12 in here now, and make some more later, and then I just have to make 24 sets of rolags as well to go with it. So like I said before, my aim is to have these done and ready by the end of the week, so I can, or the end of next week, so I can get them listed for you guys on Etsy. And now I'm actually running out of time. It is 2, so 20 past 2. The film's at 4. We need to give ourselves about half an hour, 45 minutes to get to the cinema, because we're going to Blue Water, and so I need to go get dressed. I'm still wearing my pajamas, and yeah, I also realized my socks. I need to knit the heels on my socks so I can knit the cinema. So I'm gonna go get dressed quickly and then come show you what my socks are looking like. All right, so these are the socks at the moment. I did contrasting cuffs. I'll be doing contrasting heels and toes as well. So the yarn that I'm using is Mustache Yarns in the Woodstock 50 colorway. It's a 20 row stripe, And as you can see, I'm doing them in opposite directions. So I did that intentionally. And so you can see here the orange stripes lined up and this purple stripe here is lined up on both socks. So now I'm ready to pop in the heels. I'm actually going to separate the socks because they're on my shorter cable length, which whilst I still can do my socks heels with them both on this cable, it's just easier if they're separated. And also because if I don't get to finish both heels before the movie starts, I can still knit on one sock in the film, worst case. Made it just in time, off to the cinema. Hey guys, so we're back home now. Didn't get to film much while we were out. It was, we got to the shopping centre just in time to get to the cinema. Got to the cinema and the lady was checking our tickets, only to find out at that point was the first time I found out that we were watching a 3D movie. We went to watch Star Wars, and Perry had booked the 3D cinema tickets. So she was handing us the glasses and I turned to Perry and I was just like, why did you book the 3D cinema? He knows I don't like 3D cinemas. I always prefer to watch them in the 2D, like the normal standard cinema thing, not the 3D ones with the glasses. Because the 3D ones always give me a headache. The glasses and the whatever the screen is, it sets me off, and I don't get motion sick usually, but it makes me feel really motion sick in the cinema, and I end up with a really bad headache afterwards, and I still have a headache now. So I was a bit annoyed with him for that, to be honest, because it's not like he didn't know that, he knows that. So that really sort of dampened the experience for me because I had a headache most of the time, most of the movie. But headache aside, I enjoyed the film. I thought it was pretty good actually, I quite liked it. And then we just grabbed a bite to eat and then came home, and he's back out trying to tinker with the Mini a little bit before calling it a night. He's got it running, but he wants to see if it will start up when it's cold, so he's just, I don't know. He seems to have figured out the issues with it, so that's good. And the socks. So just before I left, I showed you I needed to do the heels, so the heels are now done, and I've almost finished the feet on this, on the socks as well. I literally have maybe 5 more rounds before I switch to the contrasting colours for the toes. And I'm just going to do the opposite for the cuffs on the toes. So the yellow cuffed sock is going to have green toes and the green cuff will have yellow toes. And I did both with the purple heels on them. So yeah, so these will probably be finished tonight, hopefully. Morning guys, although a bit late in the day to call it morning, but I feel like it's morning because I just woke up. It's 11:20. I woke up about half an hour ago. I am so exhausted. I didn't go to bed till quite late last night. No particular reason, I just couldn't sleep, and I was up, it was past 2 AM by the time I was actually able to fall asleep. I don't know what time exactly, but late nonetheless. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I don't know why I was so up so late. I only had 1 coffee in the morning. I hadn't had a lot of caffeine. I don't know what it was. Anyway, Perry let me sleep in until just before 11. He's been outside working on the Mini. He's taken it for a drive, so fingers crossed for me that I don't have to go rescue him again. He seems to have figured out the issue, so he's driven it down to the petrol station to fill it up with some petrol. So we shall see. Hopefully I don't get a call. Layla has had a great time so far with Granny and Grandpa. We're gonna go pick her up in a little bit. I say we, probably just Perry, because I don't feel like leaving the house. I didn't finish the vlog last night, so this is just gonna be a 2-day vlog, I think. And then yeah, so I finished the socks that you saw. I showed those to you in a little clip at the end. And then I've actually got a bajillion blanket squares now compared to where I was at the beginning of the month. I finished weaving in the ends on 2 more blocks. So I've now officially used all of my minis in blanket squares from my advent calendars this year. I had 24 from my advent from Meg, Bad Wolf Girls knits, and 4 for my advent with Sam, Lavender Lou. So they're all now in my blanket squares. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 blanket squares. We have 18 blanket squares. I had 8 when the month started, so I've knit 10 blanket squares blocks in the month of December so far, which is crazy, but look at all those blanket blocks. Oh wait, no, I've got one more. Oh, I've got 2 more. I've got 20. I thought I miscalculated it. So yeah, I have 20 blocks, not 18. And so that means I did 12 this month. My elbow's been hurting a little bit recently, my left elbow. So I'm taking a break from knitting on that big blanket from We Are Knitters right now because it's getting quite heavy. I'm over halfway through, but it's quite weighty now. So I'm taking a break from that in case that's aggravating it. I've knit a little bit more on Layla's little forager sweater. I've got to the point where I finished the first skein of the red, so I kind of want to do the neckline and the sleeves and then use whatever's left of the red to finish off the body, because in hindsight, thinking about it now, I probably needed 3 skeins to do like a full length body on that sweater comfortably. So I'm going to do the sleeves and the neckline first, and then whatever's left I'll use to make the body as long as I can, which is fine. If it's a little bit cropped, it's not a big deal. She tends to wear lots of dresses anyway, so it'll be fine. And I tend to knit my children's sweaters longer than standard, like store-bought sweaters would be, just because I prefer it that way. Okay, so I've just been organising some fibres to turn into rolags for the spindling kits. I've basically been weighing out the fibres and pulling out different bits to blend together for these rolags. So I've actually done most of them already. Got a big pile of rolags here, and that's from like a couple of days of work, it's not just from now. And I've got 6 more sets to do, so I have 6 more bundles of stuff, and yeah, we're gonna get to it.
Look, my hand, Daddy.
Lift it up and show me.
You show Daddy the book? not your arm.
Picture. Oh, wow.
No, she knows what she's doing.
Whee! You did a really big one, didn't you? Oh, stop, stop, stop.
I did the wrong way.
You lean, remember? Alright, should we go do bedtime?
I saw playing.
No, you gotta go to bed now, Layla. It's getting late. It's already past bedtime.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for this.
Mommy, you move off my shoe car.
I will look after your scooter.
There.
Oh, yep. Okay, just leave it there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right between. Yep. Okay, Mommy will look after it for you.
Good night.
I love you.
I love you.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Progress on the Elysian shawl. A few more repeats in. It's very squidgy and soft. Yeah, so that's how that's coming along. I've not done a huge amount of knitting today just because of my elbow. I've been trying to do less of that stuff. But on the plus side, I have gotten all of the kits sorted for the spindle kits. So those might actually be up before next weekend. I might get them up in the middle of the week, probably maybe either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how things go. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'll be posting on Instagram when they are ready. Tuesday's gonna be the last day that I vlog because it's New Year's Eve, so I'll be ending it. I'll be ending the daily vlogs at the end of the month. So hopefully by Tuesday I'll be able to tell you guys exactly when they're going to be going up. And again, I'll also post on Instagram as well. There's going to be 24 kits this time. And if they sell out really quickly, then I will probably do a listing for like a pre-order for the kits. And then depending on how popular those are, I will obviously then do those maybe again. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. And so that feels pretty productive for today, to be quite honest, especially considering I woke up and it was already 11. So anyway, and yes, now I'm just going to settle down to edit the vlog. Layla's going to bed and I might do a bit of spinning this evening, we'll see. Alright, well thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a bit of a weird one, so sorry about that, but I hope you enjoyed the last couple of days and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.